I scored 82 points last game week, giving me a huge green arrow, but for game week 29, I have 4 flagged players, including HAALAND. Could I actually sell him this week and go ahead and buy Mohamed Salah? This decision could change my season completely, and we're going to cover it in today's team selection video. So, let's get into this. Welcome back to the FPL Mogs YouTube channel, and welcome to today's team selection video for FPL Game Week 29. If you're brand new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, and don't forget to like the video as well, guys. It's going to take you 2 seconds to do. It's one of the best ways to support my channel. Let's aim for 20 likes on today's video, and it's a big one today because we have 4 flagged players for FPL Game Week 29. Some pretty big decisions to make with only 2 free transfers. Now, I always start these videos with the triple Arsenal defense. I've had it since game week 8, I do believe, when I wildcarded, and it's been season changing. They are the best defense in the league. Their assets have been outstanding for me, and with Brighton away this week, I am very confident in just playing them. In fact, I've been so confident playing them, I've pretty much played them triple up in every single game week. They have been so good for me, and this feels like a fixture which is actually still really good. Yes, away from home, and yes, Brighton did perform quite well at the weekend getting a result, but Arsenal just are the team. They are the team. They're ahead in the title race. This is going to be a huge 3 points to them, and hopefully they can come away with a clean sheet. I would absolutely love that for FPL Game Week 29. There maybe are some questions to whether Timber will start, and that's been sort of a theme with Ben White being back for Arsenal for a good number of weeks now, but he's yet to let me down. In fact, I only think he's not started 1 out of the last few game weeks for me, and the team was still manageable at that point, but incredibly happy with owning triple Arsenal defense. In fact, still with Rice being out, I think that can only help my rank if Arsenal still get a clean sheet. A lot of people owning triple Arsenal from game week 26 when they doubled. Now Rice is not here. My triple Arsenal defense could be pretty good this game week for my rank. We'll move on to Virgil van Dijk though, who of course, as we spoke about in recent weeks, great fixture, of course, yet again, performing outstandingly. In fact, how many points did he end up on? I think it was still 7. I don't think bonus really came through. But 7 points last week. The past 2 weeks before that, still big hauls. He's the guy to own in FPL and defense at the moment. Not blanking in 31. Great fixtures long term. I absolutely love owning him, and I've owned him a good chunk of the season now. Yes, Liverpool do look a little bit better as of late, and I think that will continue to be the case as I chase Champions League football. Where the issue comes, though, firstly in the defence is Anderson's yellow flag. Now, I do believe Anderson will play against West Ham at home. The illness that caused him to miss the weekend's fixture doesn't seem like a big problem. It really doesn't. And you'll see when we get to the midfielders that are on the bench that he could actually just be benched if he's not available for selection. In my eyes, with an illness, Anderson will most likely, if he's not going to play, just not be in the squad again. I don't see him coming off the bench if he is ill. Another issue, though, is Rodon on the bench. It's not a bad fixture. Sunderland at home. My team, Sunderland, playing away from home, we're not really that good at scoring goals. We really just aren't. We just don't have that finishing touch at times, and going away to Leeds is an incredibly hard fixture. I've said it all season. Leeds have got some pretty good results at home, and maybe playing Rodon this week actually wouldn't be too bad. If it's the case that Anderson is definitely fit, and I know Rodon's fit as well, I genuinely could play a back 5 this week, and that's not even a joke. So for the defence, incredibly happy. Let's move up now to the midfield, where some more tricky decisions come into play. Moving up now to the midfield, where decisions become a little bit trickier and transfers could be used this game week. Firstly, I don't want to start with the 3 I am currently starting. I want to speak about Tavernier. Now, last game week, I had him second on my bench because I believed his expected minutes wouldn't be that good. Now, I've owned Tavernier for a few weeks. He's been red flagged. He's only just came back within the last 2-3 weeks. training and then eventually playing in fixtures, he got 81 minutes. He got 7 points against my team, Sunderland. And of course, I got quite jammy with him getting off the bench. This week, with it being such a quick turnaround, I do have my doubts to whether those minutes will be as good as he had against Sunderland at home. Is he going to get 70 plus minutes, or could he even be benched within this fixture? It is so incredibly hard to tell. In fact, on the screen to my left is Iraola's press conference as we are recording right now. So hopefully we hear some news about Tavernier, about Evan Nielsen, who is in my forward line. A little bit of a spoiler, because I would love to start him. But with what we're faced right now, 4 defenders, 3 midfielders, who do I even bench? It's an impossible decision with who we're faced with here, especially when I think Anderson will start and play. We'll come into that discussion a little bit more in the next section with forwards, but to focus on who I'm actually starting now, Dango with Bournemouth away from home. Brentford just are a great team, and of course, Dango as an asset has been quite impressive in the last few weeks. Super happy to have bought him in game week 28, but I did sell João Gomez. João Gomez, of course, goes and gets a haul against Aston Villa of all teams, bottom of the league, against... that's FPL. That is just FPL in a nutshell. It's funny, but I wasn't going to start João Gomez anyway, was I? So happy to have Dango in for the long term. He's only going to be in the squad, to be fair, not long term, till about game week 32. But with Brentford's great fixtures, I wouldn't be surprised if I had 1 or 2 Brentford assets until game week 35 in FPL. Bruno Fernandes, Newcastle away from home, a hard fixture in all honesty, but Man United have that momentum. Bruno Fernandes was fantastic against Palace. I feel as though Manchester United did grow into the game after that red card. Space was opening up, and Bruno Fernandes is just so impressive to watch. He is, in my opinion, still the best FPL asset in the game. Absolutely. So happy to have captained him in game week 28. There was a little bit of controversy around Bruno captain with Let's Talk FPL and stuff. It's not my place to talk on, other creators' controversies, but I do want to say, Andy is a very genuine guy. I don't think that was a malicious decision he made to kind of what seemed like hide his Bruno captaincy. He's been very vocal all season about Bruno being an incredible asset, as have I for the most part of the season. You guys all know I'm super honest and open with you guys about my FPL side. You know I was on on Bruno captaincy for FPL Game Week 28 from the start of the week. Just wanted to chip in there and just kind of bring to life that controversy, because it is a bit sad to see that people are having a go at, fellow creators about FPL decisions. At the end of the day, it's just a game, guys. I thought I'd just quickly speak about it briefly. But to end the midfield section, Szoboszlai, Wolves away from home. It's a great fixture, although Wolves have been performing quite well in recent fixtures. A draw against Arsenal, a win against Villa. What could they do against Liverpool? Especially at home as well. But Szoboszlai, with Wirtz being out, again, super brilliant pick in my eyes for the long term if you don't have your wildcard active, but also for the short term. The fixtures short term look brilliant, especially with those on a wildcard in 32. We'll move up now to the forward line, where again things get even trickier with my FPL decisions this week. Could a transfer be used on Erling Haaland? Into the forward line, and decisions, again, as we go through the team, just get harder and harder. They really do. 2 flagged players out of the 3 forward options is not a good look for FPL Game Week 29. Now, I want to start with Evan Nielsen and Tavernier. What are we going to do with this game week? It's all, for me, with this decision right now, down to expected minutes. It really is, because Evan Nielsen didn't start at the weekend, so therefore my decision-making is expected minutes should be pretty good for the midweek fixture. Benching of Krupi, starting of Evan Nielsen. That seems like the obvious thing, but then with the Evan Nielsen injury, where does that leave us with his situation? I do have the press conference open on my left-hand screen here. Nothing has come to light as of yet about that injury. It could be the case he is out for the game week, in which a transfer may have to be used, but I think the obvious thing to do, if it isn't looking great for Evan Nielsen, is to bench him for Tavernier. But the problem then comes up of Tavernier's expected minutes. Yes, last game week, 81 minutes was fantastic. 7 points, absolutely great. The week before, he played 10 minutes. He played 10 minutes in the week before. He's just come back from injury. Is it too much of an ask to start the weekend, play 81 minutes, and then play again a lot of minutes a few days later? It feels like too much, but Tavernier is a really important part of that Bournemouth side. I just can't see Tavernier's minutes being amazing, but this press conference would change a lot for me if it is Evan Nielsen is out. The big decision, though, that a lot of you will want to know what I'm planning to do with is Erling Haaland. You'll see, obviously, he is my captain so far, because I do think he'll start. Pep hasn't seemed too off about Haaland being absent from the squad at the weekend. No real injury news per se. In fact, he confirmed it wasn't his knee and didn't give too much information. A bit cryptic as always, as you would be really. You know, your best player could be injured. You're not going to tell everyone in the world, oh yeah, he's definitely out this weekend. Or midweek, sorry. You're not going to do that. So right now he's captain. Right now he's starting. But if news comes out, maybe expected minutes are going to be low. Maybe he's not going to be part of the squad yet again. That opens doors to Mohamed Salah, to Ekitike, to not so much Cole Palmer, but potentially Cole Palmer. That's the only real big asset that I can think of where to put my money. Maybe an Mbeumo, double up on the Manchester United midfield, but it doesn't feel as strong this week. So Mohamed Salah is the clear kind of option in my eyes as a midfield replacement if I wanted to clear, you know, the likes of an Anderson away from my bench. But with Evan Nielsen potentially also being injured as well, could it just be the case I go with 2 new forwards? But the forwards aren't really looking too attractive. So right now, the plan is to hold off and just wait for as much information as possible. The amount of people that came on my deadline stream and said, I made an early transfer for Florian Wirtz and it didn't go well. Early transfers for me have never been that attractive in FPL. Maybe a day before, but a few days before an FPL deadline, there is just so much that can happen. Information in this game and how you use that information is how you do very well in FPL. Planning ahead with all that information in mind is how you do well. Of course, there's a massive amount of luck and stuff, but planning, it is a strategy game, in all honesty. You just have to get a little bit lucky at times. With Erling Haaland, to round that little bit off about him, he is captain, he is staying in the side right now, but I wouldn't mind selling him, especially with that blank potentially in 31. I wouldn't mind selling him. Thiago, Bournemouth away from home, happy to own him. And of course, if you don't own him already, till game week 35, amazing fixtures. Definitely consider him in FPL. Across the board though, as a just quick roundup to my game week 29 team, incredibly happy with how things are, even though I have 4 flagged players. I think it's manageable. I don't think there's an immediate issue to deal with. And if there is, Tavernier's on the bench, Rodon's on the bench. I think Rodon will be okay. We could have 5 at the back. I don't really mind that whatsoever. Feeling happy about it. Let me know in the comments though what you're going to do for FPL game week 29. And do you have some big moves you're going to make for the game week? The FPL deadline is tomorrow and I will be doing a deadline stream, so make sure you're looking out for that on YouTube and TikTok. Of course, if you enjoyed this video though, make sure you've dropped a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for future FPL content and FPL streams. But that is everything for today's video. Thank you again so much for watching and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.